Hi everybody, welcome to this new episode of the GenAI Nerd channel. And in this video I want to show you how you can build nowadays in Claude your own digital academic writer twin. Meaning you can nowadays build what is called a plugin that will allow you to support you in writing academic papers in your personal writing style. And so in this video, I will explain step by step how you can do it. First, I will show you how you can start building highly personalized and customized writing skills. And then I will show how you can bundle these skills in one single plugin. So let's get started. So the first thing we will need to do when we want to build this kind of academic writer plugin is to build different skills. And skills you have to see as documents that explain to your large language model what you want to accomplish. And so for instance, a skill that I have built for my academic writer is an introduction writer skill. So this is a skill that is specialized in writing introductions for academic papers in my personal style. So how do I do that? So I go to the chat part of the Claude desktop application, and here we can actually create skills. Yes, and so here is the prompt that I will use to actually build a skill. So I say here, I want to build a new skill. In particular, I want to build a skill that can write introductions for top-level academic publications. To do so, check the attached paper of Grant and Pollock to provide great suggestions on how to write academic papers. In addition, analyze the other attached papers to get a good understanding of how to write introductions. And actually here I use a famous paper from Academy of Management journals on how to write introductions. And then I would also upload 2 papers of myself. Now, actually, in this case, I don't use Claude because I'm now using papers that have been published. And to say at least there is a gray zone whether you're allowed to upload papers into Claude. So what I do is I actually do this in ChatGPT because I have a secure ChatGPT license from my university where we have our separate storage. And so there I'm not disclosing any information to third parties. So that's why I actually use ChatGPT to build these skills. I actually have a separate video about that. It's a bit more technical, but so as long as you use publicly available information, you can upload here then attachment, and then you can build a skill here using Claude. So let me show you how such a skill will look like. Yeah, so here is another example of a skill that I built. This was a skill that I built to reduce the risk of hallucination when searching for academic papers. And here I only relied on publicly available information. And in the end, you will see that Claude then creates the skill, and then you can just copy it to your skills. And then you can go here to customize to see all your skills. And so now I can go here to skills, and you see I will have quite a lot of skills already. And so one of these skills that I have uploaded here is the academic intro writer skill. And here you see kind of the description of that skill. So this is what I want to accomplish. And then actually the skill itself is simply a text document that gives extensive instructions on how to write introductions based on the information that I have uploaded. Yes, and so here you can see the actual skill.md document, and this is simply an extensive description on how to write a good introduction based on the material that I have provided. So you see it now has kind of created an extensive instruction document on how to write introductions. And now every time when I prompt in Claude use this academic intro writer skill, it will kind of enable this document to write introductions, and in that way it will already be much more customized and personalized. So that's how you can start building skills, and in the end we can build multiple skills. So let me show you to give you some insights about what I've done. So if I go to my skills, you will see that I have all kinds of skills having created. So a theoretical background writer skill, academic discussion writer skill, quantitative findings writer skill, and a qualitative finding writer skill. So I've built 10 different skills that can help me when writing academic papers. And now the nice thing is that we can bundle these skills in something called plugin. So let me show you how you can do that. Yes, and to build plugins, we need to go to the co-work part of the Claude desktop application. And for this, you need a subscription. Otherwise, you will not have this at your availability. But so we can go to the co-work part. And then I can again go to customize, and then here I will see my plugins. And you will see I now have already my academic paper writer plugin. So let me show you how that looks like. So in the end, this is simply a collection of skills. Yeah? So if I go here to see all, you can see that I now have 3, 6, 9, 11 different skills that can help me with writing academic papers. Now, how do you build such a plugin? This is quite straightforward. You go here to plus, and then you can browse plugins that Claude has created. You can also upload plugins, or you can say create. So now let's press create. And then simply here I can now type something like help me create a new co-work plugin that is my digital writer assistant that bundles the following skills. And then I simply have to list the skills that I want this plugin to have access to. And when I then press let's go, it will simply create this plugin and will add it to your customized plugins. So that's how I created this academic paper writer plugin, simply by calling out the skills that I want to see bundled here. And from now on, I can simply enable this plugin every time when I want to do academic writing. Yeah, so then simply I go back to my co-work, and then here I can just indicate a folder where I already have a kind of a first draft of a paper, and then I can, with the plugin, kind of optimize introductions, fine-tune discussion sections, and all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, these things can be used, I think, for very ethical reasons, helping you to fine-tune, get inspiration. At the same time, it can also be used in a very unethical way. You can start from a blank sheet and just ask the plugin, start writing for me, which I think is not an ethical way of using these tools. But I hope it's important to realize that it's not the tool as such that is ethical or unethical. I think it's how we use these tools in our academic writing that makes the distinction between ethical and non-ethical applications. But at least I wanted to show you what is possible today, and in my opinion, if you use them in the right way, they can really help you to improve your academic writing. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks for your attention. Bye.